Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 849, Doubleshot number 743. I have one DC trade, one Marvel trade. Okay? First up, from the era of the New 52, Earth 2 The Gathering. Written by James Robertson, art by Nicola Scott. This collects the first 6 issues of this particular series. I should point out, though, this was the last, when this series started, because he was also working on the Shade just prior to the start of the series. Yeah, not long after he started this series, pretty much like with issue 16, the guy left, and he let to go Marvel Comics. But this was the last DC comic he did for about 4 years. Yeah, for 4 years he never did another DC comic again. Why? Because he worked over at Marvel. Yeah, this officially was the last one he did. What is Earth 2? It's basically Earth. It's the formation of the JSA in modern day. Well, are they ever called the JSA in this series? Nope. Mostly it's just debuting new characters, at least basically taking the old characters and making brand new. The first issue is a debut of the Earth 2 versions of Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. The Earth 2 Trinity, which is also known as, in this book, they mentioned later, it's known as the Trinity, the Earth 2's Trinity of Wonders. That's what they call them. And these three made up most of the original Wonders group. And they all die in the first issue. Well, except for Superman. Superman gets dropped in the portal, Wonder Woman gets stabbed by Steppenwolf, and Batman blows up. Yeah, he dies in an explosion. And then we had the debuts of the post-Flash versions of, well, this particular book. First we have Jay Garrick, which his girlfriend Joan leaves him. Yeah, those are familiar with Joan, who in pre-Flashpoint was Jay Garrick's wife. She leaves him to go to California. As far as I know, this character never reappeared in this series ever again after this one issue, after issue 2. Yep, and we also have the character Mercury, aka Hermes, give Jay Garrick his powers and became the Flash. Yeah, I should point out though, this is a new interpretation of how he gets his powers. In the original origin story, I've read it. He gets his powers via an accident. Yeah, an accident where he pretty much just falls over hard water, and that's how he gets his powers. Now, the thing with the Earth 2 version of Jay Garrick, there's, people think that his Alf is a ripoff of Ant-Man. Also, on Earth 2, there are these pits that pop up after they were attacked by Apocalypse. Yeah, we have parademons in the cover. Yeah, fire pits all over the planet. Yeah, nothing is done about these fire pits until toward the end of Robinson's run. His brief run, mind you. As for the reasoning for the end of his run, yeah, I've never one of the theories of why he left because of the whole thing with Earth 2 Batman. Yeah, here's what the Flash looks like. The Jay Garrick Flash looks like it's continuity. Yeah, post-Flashpoint. Yeah, I've heard his helmet is basically a ripoff of Hank Pym's. We also see in the second issue, Mr. Terrific. Yep, this is the same guy from... This is actually... this takes place after DC Universe Presents number 0. Yeah, this takes place right after that. Yeah, and those of you curious though, whatever happened to the original outfit that Mr. Terrific is wearing, yeah, this is Mr. Terrific in the post-Flashpoint universe. That's what he looks like, and he wears this up until the end of the series. Yeah, he becomes a supporting character, and this character right here, that's Terry Salone. Those of you not familiar who this guy is, this guy was the original Mr. Terrific in pre-Flash universe. Here, he was never called that in this universe, on this Earth. Nope, he was referred to as Mr. 8. And yeah. Oh yeah, and Hermes looks like this. Yep, butt naked. Yeah, that's a thing with the New 52 Greek gods. All of them except for Apollo and Hera all show up butt naked. As far as I know, there is never an explanation for this at all. I've never spoken to David Finch about. I didn't speak to David Finch about this, but yeah. Now, how did they debut the Earth 2 Green Lantern? Well, it's sort of a semi remake of his original origin story, where he's on a train and he gets derailed. Though they don't really explain who derailed in this continuity. In the original in the original origin story, it was a rival train manufacturer that was responsible for the derailment of this train. That's who derailed it in the original continuity. And those of you curious though, what in the world does the Earth 2 Green Lantern look like in here? Well, pretty much what happens to him is very similar, and we have this Green Lantern, this not exactly a Green Lantern, more like a giant fire shows up, and here's also the debut of the Earth 2 Hawk Girl, Kendra Saunders. Yep. In pre-Flashpoint, yeah, this is basically a character also. This is a character specifically created by Robinson when he started his brief JSA run. Yeah, and here is what the Green Lantern looks like in his full outfit. It's a not bad redesign. I gotta hand it to Nicola Scott. It's a really good redesign. It doesn't have the unnecessary lines Lee basically was obsessed with. It doesn't have a collar, which that's nice. Yeah, for some reason Lee was obsessed with the stupid collars. Oh, and by the way, like in pre-Flashpoint, here is Alan Scott's arch nemesis, Solomon Grundy. Those of you thinking though, that's Grundy? Yep, this is Grundy. Despite the fact that this looks almost nothing like Grundy that we know of. Yeah, this is a new interpretation. It's a not bad redesign for Grundy, but at least he acts like Grundy. Except he's a reputation of a thing called the Gray. Alan Scott is a reputation of the Green. Yep. There's also the Red, who in this continuity was the third Wildcat. Yep. Who in this particular thing is also connected to the Earth, the Prime Earth as well. Yep. But we not only have the reintroductions of Jay Garrick, Alan Scott, Kendra Saunders, but there is one other character, the one who Robinson writes as a complete jerk in this continuity. And let me show you exactly what the guy looks like. And who I'm talking about. Let's see if I can find it here. We also debut of a character named Commander Khan. Yeah, he's the leader of the World Army. Yeah, it's basically a merge of all the armies. We also have Sergeant Al Pritt, aka the Atom. Yeah, where apparently he has the ability to go giant size in his continuity. Yeah, despite the fact Al Pritt in the original continuity never had this ability at all. This was the ability that was given to his godson, Atom Smasher. Yeah, as for why in the world he got this power, I have no idea. I've never spoken to Robinson about this. And Robinson writes in like a complete jerk, where he's like, "Oh, I'm in charge, so my way, my rules." And he has to trust people, basically, with the exception of Kendra Saunders, who apparently is a wanted fugitive for some reason. At this point, it's not explained. They'll explain a little bit later. And they have vigilantes like Green Lantern and Flash. And they basically have to work together. They have no choice but to work together to take down Solomon Grundy, which the Green Lantern was able to send him to space and drop them off on the moon. And he stays there until his one shot. And then he comes back when Earth 2 is pretty much destroyed. Yep. Great start for this series. And by the way, they call the heroes of this world Wonders. Yes, that's what they call heroes on Earth 2. Wonders. They want to be different, so I have no problem with Wonders at all. It's a really neat concept. And Mercury pointed, and Jake here pointed out, though, the Wonders are dead. That was the end of the Wonders. And Mercury points, this is a new age for Wonders. That's when he gives Jay Garrick his power. But this is a terrific start for this particular series, and I can't wait to get my hands on more trades related to this particular series. Give this one a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Next up, it is New Warriors Volume 1, The Kids Are All Fight. This collects the first 6 issues of New Warriors Volume 5 and a story from Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3, Number 1. All written by Christopher Yost. Artwork by Marcus 2, and there's like one artist on here. Yeah. Marcus 2 does the first 4 issues. Nick Rocci does issues 5 through 6, and he does issue 6 with David Baldwin and Jordi Turgania. This lineup is consisted of Justice, Speedball, Nova, Scarlet Spider, Hummingbird. And these two other people, they're new characters. This is Inhuman, and one in the middle is an Atlantean, which they call her Nita, which they reveal in this book that she's actually a servant of Nefertita. She's not exactly her, but she's a servant of hers. Hummingbird and Sun Girl are creations of Christopher Yost. Yeah, and Christopher Yost also previously wrote, just prior to the start of this series, Scarlet Spider. Yeah, and get this, they actually set up this particular group in the pages of Nova, of all things. Yep, they planted seeds for that in that very book. So yeah, and in the case of Scarlet Spider, this is basically at this point his first appearance after the end of his short ongoing series he had, which was canceled for a very stupid reason. What was the reason why it was canceled? It was canceled due to that and Venom outselling Superior Spider-Man. Yeah, that is seriously why Scarlet Spider got canceled in 25 issues. But yeah, they also take on the High Evolutionary in here. And they even have sort of a loose follow-up to the pages of X-Men, the Volume 3, from the storyline First to Last, which featured the Evolutionaries. They don't really explain them clearly in here. They don't explain who their boss is. They also have accounts with the High Evolutionary. And of course, the end of issue 4, of course, we had debut. We have the formation of New Warriors. Yeah, that's this weird thing that apparently some group books that tends to do nowadays, where it takes them 3 or 4 issues in for the group to finally come together, and instead of coming together in issue 1 like it used to be. And they also have this very sort of in-universe controversial moment where Wondergull Mountain, which is a High Evolutionary's foreign base, gets transported to the middle of New York Harbor. Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor are rated to be complete dicks. Yeah, this is something that I think a lot of people don't really like, that the Avengers depicted this way, where they're so high and mighty. And yeah, Justice points out though, we're the New Warriors. And Cap's like, really? You're going to use that name after the events of Stanford? That was not entirely their fault. That was freaking Nitro. Now, the readers have known for years it was Nitro who blew up Stanford. Why in the world does some writers write it where, in universe, that New Warriors were indirectly responsible for what Nitro did? Yeah, it's really old, the fact that the Avengers written this way. Heck, they're written this way by Mark Waid at pages of Champions when they did that World Collide crossover, where they pretty much get sort of trampled on by the Avengers because, oh, we're the high and mighty group. Yeah. This series was canceled after 12 issues due to low sales. One person I know of dropped the book after the first few issues because he didn't feel as though this was New Warriors. I love this particular run. I think it's fantastic, fresh. The only problem I had with this particular run, no Night Thrasher. That was the only problem I had. Of course, Night Thrasher didn't show up until the final issue of the run. Though I'm thinking, though, why did Chris Yost wait the final issue to finally bring in Night Thrasher of all people? But this is going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really, really good. Alright. Oh, yeah, and also they also bring up the whole thing with penance. Yeah, Hummingbird does that. Those of you curious, though, when Hummingbird show up, she's basically a character show up in issue 1. She didn't become Hummingbird to issue 19 of Scarlet Spider. Sun Girl first showed up in the first issue of Superior Spider-Man Team Up. After that, she showed up for issues 5 through 7, and then showed up in this series. Excuse me. Out of this entire lineup, only 2 of these characters are Chris Yost's creations, Sun Girl and Hummingbird. Kane was a creation of the Clone Saga. I don't know who actually is responsible for creating him. In the case of Justice, I believe he's a creation of, I think it was Jane DeMatteis. No, it wasn't DeMatteis. Whoever was writing Defenders at that point, that's who created him. Speedball was created by the late Steve Ditko. Nova is a Jeff Loeb creation. And of course, these 2 characters on the cover, the Inhuman and the Atlantean characters, those are also Chris Yost's creations. I don't have a problem with this lineup, except with missing Night Thrasher. Yeah, this lineup remained pretty much the same throughout the entire run. Yep. Great book. Yeah, and the missing Spider-Man issue, the one shot, the short story for that is simply put an epilogue to the Scarlet Spider series. Well, also say of this one, they also reference the events of Nova, which kind of take place so it's like some of the issues take place prior to this one, and to like one of the issues, and then, of course some stuff takes place afterwards. I like the fact Chris Yost actually does that, sort of loosely ties to what goes on the page of Nova in here. I kind of wish other books would do that when they feature characters outside of their own book. Yep. So that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review of Fairy Tail. I'll do pretty soon after watch the episode, okay? But do see you next review. Bye.